A quality of life update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is really needed at this point, especially given the imminent release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This video will be a sort of compilation that I have came up with and some of you guys have came up with of 3 quality of life updates that just need to be in Xenoverse 2, and quite frankly they should already be in Xenoverse 2. Please let me know after you're done with the video which of these you agree with, disagree with, and let me know if I missed anything. And in the meantime, do me a favor, about 50% of you watching this exact part right now are not actually surprised. Wow, 102%, that's crazy. Should fix that by subscribing if you are not already subscribed. And that said, let's now get into the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Ultimate Quality of Life update. Starting off, number 1 on this list, one that is undoubtedly universally agreed on, because I've never actually seen not even one comment or one person say the contrary. Please, oh please, can we please in Xenoverse 2 get more custom character slots? As of right now, we can only make up to 8 custom characters in Xenoverse 2 before we then have to delete one of them to then make another one. Going back now to the original Xenoverse game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, whatever you want to call it, you could also only make up to 8 characters in that game. Now for Xenoverse 1, I kind of get it. Kind of. They barely, just barely get a pass in Xenoverse 1, because in Xenoverse 1 you can make up to, well, 8 characters. And it's 8 because then you can make one of each race and gender, so one male and female Saiyan, a male and female Majin, a male and female Earthling, a Namekian, and a Frieza race. And of course, in Xenoverse 2 as well, you don't have to make one of each. You can make 7 Namekians and 1 Frieza race, should you wish to do so. In Xenoverse 1, I understand it, I get it, I prefer more, but you know what? For Xenoverse 1, the original Xenoverse, it barely just gets a pass. However, in Xenoverse 2, sure, you can, at least as of right now, can only, well, there's 8 different options for making a character. Once again, a male and female Saiyan, a male and female Majin, a male and female Earthling, I forget what I said, and a Namekian and a Frieza race, you guys know. So you can make up to 8 and any mix of them if you want. In Xenoverse 2 compared to Xenoverse 1, you can run and use characters so differently compared to Xenoverse 1 with so many different options. I don't know a single person who has made 8 characters and all 8 of those are the 8 available options. I'm sure it's happened, but man, at this point, can we please get at least 20 in total? Now, given when the Hero Colosseum was being updated, given that you could, buy more, I forget what them called, like character slots for summoning, but it cost TP Medals, which you could buy with real money. I don't know why they haven't done that for slots in Xenoverse 2. Now, again, I'd say make them available for free. Give us 20, give us 12 more. That's 20 is plenty, I think. I'd say more as well, but whatever. But you can then even put it, and I wouldn't like this, but they technically could lock this behind TP medals and or STP medals. I don't know why they've not done this. I really don't. I don't think it's something that will be game breaking, but whatever. Let's now move on to number 2. And up next we have, please add a slider when talking to Tosok in Conton City to level up. For the purposes of this video, I decided to firstly back up my save data in the PlayStation Plus cloud so I wouldn't lose any of my Zeni To TP Medals, STP Medals, whatever they're called, or anything like that. I then made a brand new character, called CAC CAC on G Fuel, by the way, to save at least 20% off, maybe 30%. Had to get that plug in there somewhere. Again, code CAC CAC on checkout for at least 20% off. But it took me from level 1 to the max level as of right now, level 140. It took me about, give or take, 16.5 minutes. 16 minutes 32, I think the final time is. It's on the screen right now, or it will be in a moment. That's to get from level 1 to 140. We know the level is going to be increased later on to level 199. When it got to level 200 plus, we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to take longer to do that in the future. And by the way, that's not including the loading time. That's not including making the character, the appearance, the settings, all of that, the voice. That's not including putting the equipment on, the stats, adding the stats, the moveset. That's just talking to Tosok and speaking to him and clicking the inputs as fast as I humanly could. And yeah, 16.5 minutes to get to level up 139 times. It's going to take probably like 25 minutes by the time it gets to level 199. So please let us have a feature or add it so we can just use a slider to level up to the max level that we are at on other characters. So if you're not at level 140, obviously you can't get there. Maybe do it like that. And then make it so you can decide if to use Zeni and then TP medals and or STP medals later on, so you can just instantly go from level 1 or whatever level you are to the highest level that your highest level character is. Please, this is such, please, I just need this. 16.5 minutes, dude. To further increase the customization that we have right now in Xenoverse 2, there should be an option in addition to what we have right now for us to use like a sort of like RGB color slider. Again, in addition to the options we have right now, maybe we can click on any sort of color option, then use the slider to further customize it. I forget off the top of my head because it's been about 10 years since I played Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z, but I think Battle of Z had this. If Battle of Z, of all games, of all Dragon Ball games, had an RNG, or what it's called, like slider color thing, there's absolutely zero reason why Xenoverse 1 shouldn't have, should have it. And with that said, should be in Xenoverse 2. I think this would be quite an easy one to add, to be honest, but again, I don't know how game development works, so we'll leave it as that right now. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this one specifically in the comments of the video. If you get a Z rank with an ultimate finish on a parallel quest, that should absolutely guarantee that you get at least one non-repeatable item, as in artwork or skills. It doesn't have to just be one, but at least once, or maybe one and maybe a few more, depending if you get lucky. And also have it so you also get some of the repeatable stuff like clothing, material items, or what have you. But yeah, if you get a Z rank with an ultimate finish, and I forget off the top of my head if you can get a Z rank without an ultimate finish on parallel quests, I don't know. But regardless, if you get a Z rank with an ultimate finish on any parallel quest, that should guarantee you to get at least one non-repeatable item. Again, artwork and or skills. Next up, we have stackable sets of Dragon Balls. As of right now, in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, you can only have up to one full set, or rather just one each, of the 7 Dragon Balls. I don't understand this. It doesn't even make much sense from like a lore perspective if you really want to go that far, because I mean, everyone in Conton City can have a full set of Dragon Balls and summon Shenron infinitely, right? If there's like 500 people in the lobby, everyone can get a full set. It doesn't make sense. Dragon Balls aren't even that overpowered. Well, they're actually not overpowered, to be honest, especially even mid to late and like super late endgame. The way it works right now, you get a full set of Dragon Balls, but if you then receive Dragon Balls as like a gift from like an event or what have you, you can technically accept them, but they just vanish. It doesn't say, oh, you've already got them, they just vanish. Please allow us to have up to 99 sets of Dragon Balls so we can just grind them whenever. So if and when we need them, we have them ready to go. Please. Look, and I do remember getting a while ago, because it's not the first time I've asked for this, but I did remember a comment a while ago saying how this would be impossible because the game wouldn't know what Dragon Balls you have, so you could like grind for like hours and get 10 sets of Dragon Balls without getting, for example, the first star. That makes sense to some extent, but not really, because there's a character in Conton City which, if you make a character and then defeat Raditz, you can talk to a character called Sanut by the Orange Star High School in Conton City, and when you fight her, it's a very easy fight. She's at a low level. It's like for beginners to learn the game. She'll give you a Dragon Ball starting from the 4th star and then cycling through to the 5th, 6th, 7th, 1st, 2nd, then 3rd, depending on which Dragon Ball in that order you don't have. So, that's not an issue. Please, stackable Dragon Balls. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I really don't. Please, oh, please allow us to mute the hero Colosseum. Not only is it annoying, but it's extremely loud, and I don't think it was meant to be this loud, because you listen to it, it's actually slightly distorted, as if they've not leveled it properly. But just have an option. For example, we can like change the certain sounds in Xenoverse 2, like the music settings, the voice settings, background noise. Just have another slider for announcement settings, so we can either switch that all the way up or down, or mute it completely. I can't, like, I understand why they probably haven't done that yet, because you used to be able to spend TP medals, and you still can, when you could actually buy specifically TP medals, not now STP medals, but when you could buy TP medals, which basically is like the old microcurrency for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, you could then use them to progress easier and faster in the Hero Colosseum. But given that it's been several updates since they even updated the Hero Colosseum, and you can no longer purchase TP medals, I think it's about time for us to have the option to mute the Hero Colosseum. Please. Oh, please. I'm rather excited to suggest this next one, a legacy character slot. What is that? Thank you for asking. Leave a like on the video and subscribe, and I shall gladly tell you. Now, so I think I mentioned this like 7-8 years ago as of this upload. I think before Xenoverse 2 came out, or just after, but there should be an option. So if you do when you do the data transfer, whichever one character you picked, either your Xenoverse 1 save data characters, or one of the already existing characters, or one of the Xenoverse 1 Final World Tournament winners, whichever one of these characters that you pick, there should be an option maybe once you've completed the story mode for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, where you unlock this character as a playable character to use wherever you want. Now, if they did this, it would just probably be the one preset, and you wouldn't be able to change the clothing, the moveset, what have you. It would be a little bit interesting with QQ bangs and with a Super Soul, but you could just maybe give them like normal stats or what have you, because it wouldn't be a custom character. It'll be a data transfer character from either Xenoverse 1 or the data transfer at the beginning of Xenoverse 2 to then use it. So this one could be a little bit tricky if they were to implement it. I don't think they ever will implement anything like this, but you know what? It's like what I always say, if you never ask, the answer is always no. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I would love to get something like this added for Xenoverse 2, or maybe in the eventual Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Please, oh please, make the special artwork from Dragon Ball The Breakers and from the Conton City TV broadcasts via Aldo. Please make them purchasable in-game. Please, oh please, oh please. I don't really play Breakers. I think it's not done, but I only basically play Breakers when the new season drops, and then I struggle with that. So I'm not going to have the time or the patience, or even just wanting to grind out the Breakers crossover challenges to get the artwork. I do have some of them, and I'm happy with the ones that I've got, because they are genuinely some of the best artwork in the game for loading screens. Like, they are genuinely some of the best ones in the entire game. With that said, I don't want to play Breakers right now, so please make them maybe after a certain time purchasable in Xenoverse 2 from the STP medal store, the TP medal store, whatever. You could even make it maybe a little bit immersive, and you can talk, and actually, do you know what? I'm literally just thinking this off the top of my head. Maybe make it more immersive, where you could talk to Aldo in Conton City on the Conton City TV, because I don't think I'm doing any more of those. I think that's done. So instead of making that pointless, maybe talk to him and maybe have the option to buy them from him. Look, genuinely, I'm not making this up. I've just thought of that as I'm recording. I actually want that to be a thing now. Talk to Aldo, and you can buy all the special artwork from Breakers, from the Conton City TV, artwork 156, 157, the forbidden ones, yeah, and even like these special artworks like of the Cybermen, which was given out if you did the survey back in 2022, I think at this point. If it's an artwork that you can no longer get, or if it's from Breakers, let us have the option to buy them using in-game currency from Aldo, please. That actually would be, I love this idea, please. Porunga, the Namekian dragon. Shout out Zamasu. So you can add Porunga or keep this as Shenron, it doesn't matter which, either and or both, but it should make it so if you summon, for example, Porunga or Shenron later on, give us the option to wish for 3 wishes at a given time. For example, if you were to reset your stats, naturally you can only reset your stats once, right? That would be a waste, so that will then get grayed out. Or you know, if it's like a renewable wish, for example, to level up to get Zeni and or TP medals, you should be able to wish for that as many times, up to 3 times as you wanted to. I mean, to be honest, they should just add Porunga in, because it's a shame that they didn't. Again, shout out to Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which had Shenron, Porunga, and Ultimate Shenron from Dragon Ball GT. I would love for them to add more Shenrons into the Xenoverse series. We know in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, there's going to be Shenron and at least Super Shenron. Wouldn't mind that. I don't think they should add any sort of like super rare wish. Like, for example, they shouldn't make it so... No, actually, no. Add a new Awoken via Porunga. Why not? Yeah, I was thinking with Super Shenron, they shouldn't, because that could be, you know, like... I think if they ever... It probably won't happen for the Xenoverse 2, but if they ever did in Xenoverse 2 add Super Shenron, I imagine that would be extremely rare and maybe limited to maybe, for example, if your team won the overall Festival of Universes, they might give them out that way. Don't keep an Awoken to that, but for Porunga, that could actually work. Again, do let me know what you think about this in the comments of the video. You should be able to skip the dialogue in parallel quests. Now with this, the way I'd make it work, I wouldn't mind either way, but the way I would make it work is that for the very first time that you play through the parallel quest, you can't do it, so you have to like experience it. I think that's fair enough, but then on your second, third, or after that, as many playthroughs as you do on the mission to unlock stuff, there should be an option to skip the dialogue. Do you know what? Also maybe make it so that option becomes available if you have already completed the parallel quest with both a Z rank and with the ultimate finish, so it's like there's like more incentive to do that. So if this was online as well, I'd leave this up to the host of the lobby, but I'm sure there's probably a different way to work it out. But once we've completed the parallel quest, and let's just say for the purpose of this video, with a Z rank and, not and or, but and with an ultimate finish on following playthroughs, we then should be able to skip the dialogue. Some of the parallel quests, especially from the Future Saga Chapter 1, DLC 17 update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, as of this recording and upload, I still haven't got all the artworks from those parallel quests, because of just how much of a grind it is and just waiting. If you don't know, the parallel quest will progress once you do a certain amount of damage on characters or even defeat them, and then even if they're defeated, you just have to wait for them to basically finish yapping. So yeah, Z rank, ultimate finish on a playthrough, on a parallel quest, then for following playthroughs to unlock skills faster and hopefully easier, we should have the option to like hold a certain input down to then fast forward through the dialogue like what you can do in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's about time that they make the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 pre-order bonus, that being Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as a playable character, and admittedly, less importantly, the gold and crystal battle suits for your custom characters. It's about time they make all of those, but especially Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, usable or rather buyable, purchasable for everyone. Again, this was exclusively a pre-order bonus. Xenoverse 1 came out in 2015, February 2015. As of me at least recording this part here before it's used in the eventual marathon video, and if you're watching that in the marathon video, hey, leave a like and subscribe, thank you, and tell me that you're watching it in the marathon video. It's been out now for nearly 10 years, close to 10 years, right? Please, like, I don't know why they made this a pre-order bonus, or rather, okay, I lie, I do know what they're doing, because it's fear of missing out, all that good stuff, but make it purchasable on our console of choice, so if we pick up Xenoverse 1 at a later date, we can still, you know, get the pre-order bonus. Every game, Dragon Ball game since Xenoverse 1 has made the pre-order bonus purchasable post-release, and they've already confirmed that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's pre-order bonus will also be available after the initial release of the game. Honestly, at this point, I would say just give it to everyone. No one's going to be upset that they would give out the pre-order bonus for Xenoverse 1 to everyone, and if you are upset with that, honestly, it's been out for nearly 10 years. Grow up. Also, bonus quality of life update here, which I'm going to put right with this one instead of making its own thing. For Xenoverse 1, outside of PC, for consoles, or rather, at least for, current generation PS5 and the Xbox series of consoles, just give us the option, put an update out to unlock it from 30 frames a second to 60 frames. I know they can't do this for PS3 or the Xbox 360. It's weird saying that Xenoverse 1 came out on those, but it did. But for PS5 onwards, have an option so we can unlock it from 30 frames a second to 60 frames a second. Please, oh please. There is a literal information board in Conton City in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 that gives you info on like the scoreboard, ranking, stuff like that. But they should update it so it has information and the rewards for the current raid that would be ongoing at a specific time. So as of, let's say if the tag right now, if it's available, you'll be able to go into Conton City when the raid's on, or as it's about to start, like when they announce it on the official Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 website, and it should tell you what the rewards are and how many points you need to get for said reward, instead of going to the website. Now, I don't really mind the website. I've got it bookmarked, so I check it once or twice a day, just in case anything new pops up and all that good stuff. But given that we've got a literal information board in-game, in Conton City, in Xenoverse 2, I don't know why they don't update this. I believe they update it with the TP Medal store information, but why they don't do it for the actual rewards that are available from getting certain points in a raid, I really don't quite know why they haven't done that, at least why they haven't done that yet. In the same update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 that added the Ultra Instinct Awoken skill for custom characters, another thing that they added was the ability to randomize your moveset, as you can see right here. This is great, it's a fantastic start. You can even choose if you want to have mostly key skills, mostly strike skills, or mix, as you can see the options here, or at some point, right? I'm recording the commentary in advance before the footage, don't worry about it. But something I've noticed is that it doesn't actually randomize your Awoken skill. So I've updated it so it also randomizes your Awoken skill, and then to further add on to this, have it so you can also randomize your Super Soul. Click a button and it will randomize your Super Soul when you are selecting your Super Soul. Maybe not for your QQ bank, but I wouldn't mind that either. But also especially for your outfit and accessory to completely randomize it. Number 4 on my list, which is also universally wanted, more accessory slots. Oh, please. So we have to talk about breakers. If Dragon Ball the Breakers can do this, there's absolutely zero reason, nil point, as to why Xenoverse 2 can't. Like, please, more accessory slots. They could argue, oh well, people wear like 5 different wigs. Bless them if they do that. People who want to make good-looking characters that look cool and all of that, they won't do that, or they'll find some way to make it look cool, I guess. But if people want to have like stupid accessories that like, like the Yamcha wig, the Tianchi wig with the Goku wig, and just like stacking them to make it look like a stupid character. I mean, people do like make dumb-looking characters anyway. Like, please, more accessory slots. I can't see why this isn't added. I really can't. Offline parallel quest continuations, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. So what I mean by this is, as of right now in Xenoverse 2, once you do a parallel quest offline by yourself or have you then instantly go back to Conton City, and if you want to redo that mission, you then have to wait for it to load in, go back to Conton City, talk to the robot again, select the mission, wait again for it to load, then select the characters you want to use on that mission, click OK, then once again wait for it to load, then redo the mission. The way I'd make it work is that once you complete the mission, the parallel quest in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 offline, I would then make it so there's an option to either return to Conton City or to retry the mission. Again, this will just make it a little bit easier and more convenient for getting skill, well, getting any items really from any of the parallel quests in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now online it's slightly easier because if I remember at least online, once you finish the mission you return back to the lobby, so you can just ready up instantly. So again, for offline play, offline as in doing it on your own, or if you don't have online to do it online, for offline, complete the mission, then have the option return to Conton City at the bottom or retry. You can either have a third option to go to a different payload quest and then have the payload quest selection pop up right there on the end of that mission to go to the next one. Again, just optimizing what's already there in Xenoverse 2, hence the theme of it being a quality of life update. The time-space delivery system in Conton City in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is very outdated. This is basically a PS3 era of, well, a system, because it was in Xenoverse 1. Xenoverse 1 is a PS3 game, let's be fair. Xenoverse 2 to some extent is a PS3 game, kind of. This needs to be vastly upgraded and changed for the following features, in my opinion. Firstly, have the ability to accept every gift at once, not every gift on the page, every single gift at once. On, let's say you got 10 pages of rewards, I want to accept all of them at the same time instead of doing it 10 times. And the footage you can see here, it looks like it's freezing. It's not, well, it's freezing. I couldn't do anything. Like, it took ages for it to I guess acknowledge what I want it to do. Have the ability to get every gift at once, and also the ability to disregard or to, I guess, like, give away, or well, not give away, but to remove items here. For example, I can't accept some items because I've got too many of them. I've got max of them. Instead of then having to sell the items, then collect them to get rid of them, or leaving them for 3 months, 90 days, until they automatically, disappear. There should be an option to disregard them, to throw them away, essentially. This has to be upgraded. This is something that I would have thought they would have fixed, or rather upgraded, just from Xenoverse 1 to Xenoverse 2. This next one is one that I can't see happening, because I would have thought that if it was going to happen, it probably would have already have happened by now. And I'm only mentioning it because, you know what, again, if they don't know, they don't know. So hopefully after this they will know. And because of how many comments I've had so far asking for this, and that is, as you can see, animated Saiyan tails. Already in the game for, I believe, again, for this video, I'm recording the commentary first, before the gameplay, just for convenience, all that good stuff, and to make it easier, so I'm not jumping around and all that. I believe it's GT Goku who does have an animated Saiyan tail, as well as Super Saiyan 4 characters, Goku, Vegeta, Gogeta, so it's technically in the game. I don't think it's going to happen, but again, if you don't ask, the answer's always no. Oh man, when was it? I want to say this was going back a number of years now, but I did see a comment and I don't know how credible it was. It was on one of my videos. If I can find it, I probably won't, but if I can, I'll try and put it up on the screen right now. And if nothing came up, then I can't find it, saying something along the lines of how animated Saiyan tails can't work in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 because of the character skeletons not working with it or something. I don't know, but I think on the PC version, people will be able to do it, so people on the PC version can mod it in. You'd think people who actually work on the game professionally can also do it. I don't know, but you know what? If it ever gets added in, awesome, fantastic, wouldn't mind it either way. More options for background music. As you can see right here, these are the different options you have for different places in Xenoverse 2, in Conton City, in payload quests, and raids and offline stuff or what have you, and for online battles, and for the Hero Colosseum. Right off the bat, there's no unique music for the Hero Colosseum apart from the default music. I'm surprised they've not added more in that. Now, the different options you can see here are from the 2 paid anime music DLC packs. Wouldn't mind more of those, but the music in Conton City, I'd like it if we can use that for online stuff as well, like quests and online fights, because it's got some really cool sounding music, to be honest. Going back now to the original Xenoverse game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, or if you want to be, I guess, technical, long-winded as well, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. I'm not too sure if this was a glitch or if it was intentional, but this was removed from Xenoverse. Well, it was removed from Xenoverse 2 rather, coming off of Xenoverse 1, where in story mode, if you were in a transformation, as in, I don't know if you worked with CACs, but with Super Saiyan, let's just say, for example, you would stay in Super Saiyan for the cutscene in the Time Nest. I will try and get the footage from this, but I forget off the top of my head if you can actually do this without having to make a new character, but it just changed it so you would be like Super Saiyan or have you during the cutscene. It was a cool little thing. I'm fairly certain, specifically for Xenoverse 1, that this was some sort of glitch or bug, hence why it was removed for Xenoverse 2. But naturally, if it does get added to Xenoverse 2, Xenoverse 3, or what have you, you wouldn't be able to do this with every Awoken skill. For example, you wouldn't be able to do this with the Namekian become giant, super Namekian, giant Namekian, whatever you want to call it. Something that I'm actually disappointed wasn't in Xenoverse 1, and naturally even more disappointed that it was in Xenoverse 2, naturally, is that when you unlock pretty much every character and every stage, you don't get like a pop-up like in old Dragon Ball games like Raging Blast, Budokai, and the Budokai Tenkaichi games saying that you've unlocked a character or a stage. You just unlock it and then you don't know you've unlocked it until you go and try and actually select it. Of course, this isn't for every character, it's most characters. For example, with Hit, Omega Shenron, Nova Shenron, and Ice Shenron, you do get technically a pop-up that you got these because of when you get them by summoning Shenron, and it says, oh, you've unlocked this character. Let's go back to like the old games where would you complete a mission or story mode mission, it will tell you that you've unlocked a character, and bonus points if they also say what preset you unlock. I think this is in the game technically via the second Festival of Universe event anyway. When you unlock a character, it will say that, oh, you've maxed it, you've got this character, you've maxed them out, you've now unlocked, for example, preset 2, as an example, the festival preset of characters such as Android 16. I just wish they would completely revamp this, or at the very least fix it in the eventual Dragon Ball Xenoverse, so we can actually see what we unlock when we unlock it. The ability to change your idle stance animation, please and thank you ever so much. So there's a few ways you could implement this. Maybe make it so you get like a little bit of like an option or what have you, or the ability to change your idle stance in base form. Can also be for the Awoken, but for this, let's just go for base form. When you, for example, max out your mentor's friendship, get Z ranks, all that good stuff. This one's very straightforward. It wouldn't change anything, I don't think. I don't necessarily know if this will make it easier or rather faster to, for example, key cancel. But yeah, the ability to change your idle stance animation, would love that. Technically in the game already via the Beast Awoken and Super Saiyan 3. Number 6 on my list, and again, this is one that I see being requested universally, like universally accepted as something that we want. Please, 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 and I've lost count how many times I've said this, I've even done videos talking about this, full videos, please update the Crystal Raid mode so the rewards are updated for the most, like I guess like the latest online raids from the previous update. So they should do it now. As of right now, have it so when Future Saga Chapter 2 comes out, they update the Crystal Raid mode so you can get every single online raid reward, even artworks, Super Souls, equipment, accessories like the Ikari Broly wig, the Goku Vegeta snowsuits, the Tientra outfit, the Tapion outfit, as drops from the Crystal Raid mode. And then after each update, also update the Crystal Raid mode to add the previous raids or updates rewards, if that makes sense. This will make this mode probably the most popular mode because people will be playing this to get all these rewards. Like, this seems to me like a no-brainer. But again, if Bandai didn't know before, maybe, hopefully they will know after this video is sent to them with your guys' support. Please fix the team match team position so we know whose team we actually are on. In Xenoverse 1, you could see clearly crystal as day the two teams and who was on those two teams, but for whatever reason, and I genuinely can't think of a good excuse why they got rid of this from Xenoverse 1 going into Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, for 2 versus 2s and 3 versus 3s, you can't see whose team you're on. And even I think for cross versus, I don't really play cross versus, so whatever. Why? So the way it works is that the person who is in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th slot are on one team, then the 3 people that are in the 2nd, 4th, and 6th slot are on the 2nd team. Then once the first match happens and ends, it then locks the team. However, if you kick people before the first match happens, it's not the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. It's whoever joined in order, if that makes sense. There's no reasonable excuse why they removed this. The only possible reason I can think is to possibly make it so people would, I guess, connect with people, network with people. Like, I can't think of even a decent excuse for this. Please, just make it back. Make it so it works in Xenoverse 1. There's zero reason that it shouldn't work the way it works right now. Works in quotations, by the way. Oh, hello, everyone who's watching this in the marathon video. Or it's about an hour long, so I don't know if it's quite a marathon video. But yeah, I did say that when I do eventually do the marathon video, I will re-record the aura part because I think there's 5 so far of these quality of life update video suggestions. And I've mentioned each one of them, including this one. Please fix the auras in Conton City. They do not work. If you activate the aura, then fly, the aura disappears. There's actually a relatively recent, as of this recording and presumably upload, mod for the PC version of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, where someone's actually modded it. So the aura that you equip in Conton City will actually be the aura that you have while you're in battle, PvP, raids, expert missions, payload quests, etc, etc. There is no excuse at this point, and given that these are either quite rare to get and or in some cases fairly expensive via TP Medals or star coins, or quite time consuming, for example in the Festival of Universe event, it's not worth it. I don't know why I've got as many as... I think I've got like 5 or 6. It is not worth it in any way, shape, or form. Please fix the aura. So at an absolute bare minimum, it changes your dash aura to whichever aura you have equipped while it's active and you're in Conton City, instead of the default blue if you're an Earthling or a Saiyan, pink if you're a Majin, where we are purple, or whatever it is if you're a Freeze race or Namekian. It's not worth it right now. I hope this was an oversight, and I really do hope that in a future update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, they finally fix this. Please, oh please. When you feed the Majins in the Majin Buu Time Rift, eventually an option will come up to calm them down, which will keep them as they are, or for you to guard rather, and they'll then change them to one of the other 2 colors. But I think once you've actually unlocked all 3 of the colors on each of the Majins, when they change, you should have the option to guard, then an option to have what color you want them to be, just so, you know, it makes it easier to then get, if, for example, if you want to get a certain Super Soul or a certain clothing, like the Elder Kai, extremely overpowered Super Soul, by the way, or if you want to try and get the Super Baby Vegeta outfit, you should be able to, once you've unlocked the colors on them, to say what color you want them to be, so you can then grind out the clothing or the equipment, Super Souls and stuff like that. Again, this is truly a quality of life feature because it's just going to make it easier to do rather than having to grind it out until you eventually get the color that you want. If you are in an online raid and there's a full group of 6 people or a full group of 5 people, if you're in an extra raid and everyone but the host of the room readies up, the countdown, the 15-second countdown should then start. If you are the host and you ready up, they automatically start it anyway. I'm just saying this because I've had a few times in online raids and even online payload quests where I'll join the lobby and everyone but the host readies up, and he's like, well, what's the point? Have you gone AFK? Okay, we can deal with it if we can all start, because then there's like another minute countdown pretty much of selecting the character, or about 30 seconds or whatever it is. And also for the Crystal Raid mode, everyone has to ready up for that to start. I sometimes do videos, there's a playlist, Crystal Raids or whatever it's called, on the channel, and so you can see it right here. So often everyone will ready up apart from one person, and because it's the Crystal Raid mode, it doesn't start the timer. Everyone has to ready up, and I've had to disband rooms because people either just do it to troll because it's, guys, that's funny apparently, wasting 2 minutes is hilarious, or people will just do it and go AFK, in which case ready up before you do that, or don't join or leave. Please, if everyone but one person readies up, it should start the countdown even if the host of the lobby hasn't readied up. A true quality of life update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 would be a search feature. I have mentioned before how we should be able to search for items via it being like alphabetical, because I think that'll be easy. So for example, if you want to know where, as an example, Soul Punisher is, like the ultimate, you'll know it's somewhat towards nearer the bottom than the top for key ultimates, as an example. But also, and I think I mentioned this search feature before, have it so we can also just type in the name of it and you'll then jump to that item or that skill or clothing, accessory, etc, etc. Again, this is one that I think should have been in probably Xenoverse 1, given how many clothing options there are and skills. So hopefully this will be added in the next update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. The next quality of life update on this list specifically, I am actually surprised the most out of everything on this list that's already happened, well, I've already spoke about and will speak about after this. This one is most surprising to me that it's not already added. Can we please get a sort by alphabet option for for everything? Sort by alphabetically, whatever. Grammar, nice. For example, with skills, clothing, super souls. For example, I know let's say Hell Flash, for example, the key-based ultimate. I know it's roughly give or take towards the middle when you go and look through key-based ultimate attacks, but I can't remember exactly where. If we can sort it by alphabetically, I know it'd be mostly towards the top. And do you know what? If you want to even make this even better, have it so there's a search feature so you can type in the name of the skill and you'll come up with everything that you just typed in with the keywords. For example, if I then type in Gadget Gun, it should come up with every Gadget Gun attack or every attack that has the name Gadget Gun in there. Again, this is like such a basic one for me. I am genuinely surprised this isn't already available. I don't have anything else to say about this. I'm just surprised that this isn't already something that's in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, given how unbelievably and extremely basic this is, and given how many things and items and attacks and skills and all of that there are in Xenoverse 2. Number 8, can we please get more active raids happening at the same time? As of right now, in Xenoverse 2, there are 4 types of raids, online raids. You've got the standard one, you've then got the elite raid, you've then got the extra raid, which is the trickiest one of all 4 that's added so far. Then you've got the rarer one, which is the celebration raid, which I believe, again, at least as of right now, this recording and upload has only happened once, and that was to celebrate Xenoverse 2 passing over 10 million units shipped. GG, that was like over a year ago at this point, actually like a year and a half, whatever. These are all in different locations in Conton City, quite far apart from each other actually. So what I'd say is don't have them all start and end at the same time. Maybe have it so the next one would start after every 2 days. So people have got time to grind out the previous raid, and this is going to allow more rewards to come back to the game on a more frequent level. And also it's going to make it so when you have like the breaker week where they don't do a raid and they just do the like the 2 days of the Frieza event, then a couple of days of an online tournament, then the Supreme Kai of Time event, you would still have one of these events on or one of these raids on. So for the people that have already finished those other events or aren't interested in PvP for the World Tournament, it will just give us something else to do, right? So again, have these. I mean, you can just have it so there's like a light raid and a normal raid, or a normal raid and an extra raid. 2 will be fine, but I don't see a reason why they should just stick to 1. Like, am I crazy in thinking this? Plus, I think this would make Xenoverse and more so the online lobbies just feel a bit more alive. Again, am I wrong on this? I don't think I am, but let me know in the chat. New fighting styles for custom characters. This is one of, and dare I say, quite possibly the most commented feature on these specifically quality of life update videos for Xenoverse 2 that I've been doing recently. I've not mentioned this for a reason, and that reason being is that this isn't exactly a quality of life update. But you know what? Look, I'm actually a little bit surprised how many comments I got for this specifically, and maybe I've got so many comments on this because I've not mentioned it yet. I'm absolutely for this. Absolutely. I would love this that gets added. Like, let's say once again you max out your mentor friendship, you then get their fighting style to use on your custom characters. However, this has to be done with care, because everyone will just end up picking Hits preset, or well, Hits fighting style, or Final Form Cooler's fighting style, and it's going to kind of destroy the game, at least the PvP, or these ranked will become even worse than it is as of right now. So if they ever did this, there's 2 ways you can do it. Either have it so there's new fighting styles that are original to custom characters that are built so they can't be, I guess, like exploited, like Hits moveset, or if you do adding mentor mentor movesets, either and or with original movesets or on their own, they have to fix some of the things that are broken with right now. Again, if they don't and hits fighting style gets added, everyone, quite literally everyone, at least everyone who knows what they're doing, would pick that, because if you don't, you just won't keep up, right? You just won't. There's a reason Hit is the best character in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 as of right now. So if they don't fix that, or if they don't do it with care and fix the exploits, it's going to kind of ruin at least the ranked side of Xenoverse 2. Hence why you see in ranked, most people running either characters like Final Form, Cooler, Awoken Hit, or a male Earthling, because it is the best. So if it gets added, it absolutely has to get added with care, but I don't necessarily think new fighting styles is a specifically quality of life feature. Additional tiers for online raid rewards. As of right now in Xenoverse 2, you'll get some rewards or items or what have you for getting a total of up to 100,000 points in online raids. Have it so maybe it goes up to 250,000 points via rewards, and maybe make it so that, well, after 50,000 points right now, the next tier is 100,000 points. So I'd continue that for every 50,000 points up until 250,000. So 50,000 points for a reward, then 100,000 points for the next reward as it works right now, then 150,000 points for another reward, then 200,000 points for yet another reward. Then finish it off with a reward tier at 250,000 points. And as I mentioned in a previous quality of life update suggestion video, to get stackable Dragon Balls, if they can't do that for whatever reason, have it so one of the later reward tiers, let's say for this video, always at 250,000 points, will always give you a full complete set of all 7 Dragon Balls that will then wait or be sent out via the time-space delivery. You can actually do that right now, where you can have a full set of Dragon Balls, and if you do like an online world tournament or what have you, to get like another full set by getting like between 1st to 5th place in the online Xenoverse 2 world tournament, or through, if they do like a celebration event or what have you, you can actually, if you have a full set of Dragon Balls as it works right now, you can actually accept another full set of Dragon Balls, but they don't stack. So just be very careful of that. And even if you got, like, for example, the 4-star Dragon Ball, then you accept another 4-star Dragon Ball in the rare times that they are sent out to the, I can't even say it now, to time-space delivery, it won't stack. It will just disappear and go into the void that is Xenoverse 2. So how it's so 250,000 points will give you a full set of Dragon Balls, so we can then collect them for when we may need them. Yes, they do expire, but it's after 90 days, 3 months. That's not too bad, I don't think. There are certain characters that are exclusive to the Crystal Raid mode that can also be used in training mode, those characters being Corrupt, Grotesque, Merge, Zamasu, Final Form Mirror, and I guess First Form or whatever of Demigra. You can use these in the Crystal Raid mode online as well as in training mode, but you can't use these in photo mode, and I don't know why. If you have them unlocked, just make them available in photo mode so we can use them, for screenshots, thumbnails, what have you. I don't need to use them as of right now for those, and if I did, I can just use the PC version for mods on there, so I'm rather toasty in that regard. But I don't know for specifically training mode why we can't use these. And it's not even a case of, well, no, they do have super armor, but just remove the super armor, right? Like, that's all you have to do. But given you can use them in training mode, which is also offline, genuinely have no clue at all why we can't use these in photo mode. So please make them available to use in photo mode. And the Villainous mode preset of existing characters like Villainous mode Dispo, Villainous mode, you've got loads and that you can select in online Crystal Raid mode, like Villainous mode, Android 13. If you have them unlocked, should be available to use in both training mode and in photo mode, given that they are offline. Do you know what? I'd even say a step further and make them available for local offline multiplayer. And speaking of online raids, can we please get it so there are more rewards from the raids? They've kind of done this, or they kind of do this with some extent with like the New Year's raids that they do, which tends to have, for example, like 3 or 4 different outfits, even though most of those, if not all of those outfits, can be grinded in the Crystal Raid mode right now. So it kind of feels like a bit cheeky that they do that. But there's several tiers of getting damage in raids which will give you certain rewards. For example, you get rewards or new rewards after doing 5,000 points of damage, 15,000 I think, 30,000, and then 50,000. And then very, very rarely there will be like a super soul or an accessory for getting 100,000 damage. Otherwise it's just TP medals and like the nicknames that we've all got hundreds of times over. I actually even wouldn't mind it if they then add more tiers, like after 100,000, maybe if you get 250,000 damage, maybe you get a full set of Dragon Balls, right? I would like that. They will actually give me an incentive to grind out the raids more, to actually be able to get Dragon Balls, especially if you can stack them. Check earlier on in the video if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you've forgotten, or even make it so if you get like 150 or 200,000 or even 250,000 damage, you then get some of the more rarer or useful rewards like the Boo has reached full power Super Soul, and or the let's make this the ultimate final battle Super Soul, the Tianxia wig, the Paragus outfit, the Broly wig, the Tapion outfits, the different versions of Lois, the 5 current versions. I don't know why they don't do this. I know I've said that a lot, but as someone who has played the game a lot and made a lot of videos on the game, this seems like something that they would have done to improve the existing raids in Xenoverse 2. Z assists. Do you guys remember Z assists from the original Xenoverse game? Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, whatever you want to call it. A Z assist back in the original Dragon Ball Xenoverse game was when if you had a mentor as your mentor, then you used their ultimate attack. For example, I'll try and get the footage here. Back in Xenoverse 1, my mentor was Beerus. So if I then use Beerus's God of Destruction, what's it called? The Sphere of Destruction Ultima. I actually forgot the name of it then. There was sometimes a chance that Beerus's silhouette will appear behind you and just like it was cool, right? It was really cool. I don't know why they removed these in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. As far as I'm aware, it didn't give you an attack increase, nothing like that. It was just a cosmetic thing. It was really cool, man. Like, I really don't understand why this was removed from Xenoverse 1 going into Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So yeah, I'd love for these to return, just so if you have like a mentor as your mentor, have it so there's a rare chance that when you use their ultimate attack, a silhouette of them will appear. Like, I think that's cool. Shouldn't apply to dual ultimates, just the normal one. So for example, if I had, I'm trying to think of an ultimate now. So let's say I use, Bojack, why not? Bojack's Grand Smasher Ultimate, and he was my mentor. There'll be a rare chance that a blue silhouette of him would appear behind me and mimic it. Again, it was just a fun little thing that I was like, oh, that's cool. Don't know why it's removed. If you have any of the Crystal Raid mode skills equipped to your custom character, even just one of them, if you go into Photo mode, you'll have a Villainous mode aura. It looks quite nice, rather nice. Give us the Awoken already. But the point of this part here is they should change, or rather switch off, the cooldown of the Crystal Raid skills if you're in training mode or photo mode. Not offline multiplayer, because people just spam it or what have you, but if it's, you know, in a 1 versus 1, 1 versus the computer in photo mode or training mode, switch off the cooldown timer of all of the Crystal Raid skills. With that said, I think I might know why they won't or why they can't do that. It's because if they did do that, people will probably be able to mod it so the photo mode and training mode versions of the Crystal Raid skills could be used in online Crystal Raid modes against other players. So you could literally just spam back to back the gigantic key explode, what's it called, the gigantic key blast or whatever, the rage saucer, peeler storm. So I think that's probably why they won't ever do that. But if they do find a fix for that, I would love it. So in photo mode, like thumbnails, I don't have to wait, like a minute for an attack to cool down if I need to re-get a thumbnail, if that makes sense. Please update the multiplayer modes mode, the Payload Quest Tour mode, so it now adds payload quests from DLC. So far, I believe it's just Payload Quest 1 to 100, then Payload Quest 101 onwards are from paid DLC. I know it might be an issue of people not having the DLC, but then maybe they should just be automatically kicked, or an error coming up saying, oh, one or more people do not have access to this DLC. just have it there so you can just grind out the super mix capsules, cold CAC on G Fuel CAC, 20% off. Oh yes, G Fuel plug right there, rather nice. And then have it so you can also just get like demon crystals. I don't actually know why they didn't add paid DLC to this mode. It seems weird how it's just non-DLC, especially given how this is an online mode only mode. Number 10 on this list. Please let us use the locked stages, or the stages, maybe not that are locked, but that are only available in certain quests and or in certain modes, such as the Wiz, training inside Wiz's staff, which is just a literal skybox, Toki City and the different ports in Toki City you can actually fight on. It can just even make them skyboxes if it's too difficult, right? I actually wouldn't mind that at all. Maybe even Conton City as a skybox. And for example, the Frieza Spaceship. Now, going back to I believe it was just before the original Dragon Ball Xenoverse game was released, there was like some sort of like interview or have you where they basically said how the Frieza Spaceship stage won't be usable online or in free play or have you outside of like a couple of parallel quests. And the reason they gave was something like, I'm not quoting them verbatim, but it was that something like how they did say it was the camera angle, like camera issues, but I forget exactly what they said. Okay, fair enough. For Xenoverse 1, maybe it was an oversight. Okay, cool. So then in Xenoverse 2, why is it still in the game as part of the same parallel quests? I say the same parallel quest. I think they've been updated to add new characters like Turles and Lord Slug and all of that. Just change it Just change it if it's that big of an issue. And if it's not that big of an issue, let us use the stage online, offline, even in photo mode. This one is just like so confusing to me why it's not added, but you also can't use the excuse that, well, not the excuse, you can't use the reasoning rather, that it's just going to be too tricky to fight on. If we also have stages like the mountain stage, as well as the open field, I think it's called the open field stage, which I've had lots of issues with the camera angles on those stages, hence why for the most part, I don't tend to use those stages much online when I'm doing videos, fighting trash talkers, etc. etc. Now, I also wouldn't necessarily mind if they make these existing stages playable as part of a paid DLC if it's a like map DLC, like a stage DLC, like a map pack, where it's also got a couple of brand new stages, such as, for example, off the top of my head, Beerus's Planet as a playable stage and the Otherworld World Tournament stage. Had some new raids and then make that a DLC pack just for stages. I actually wouldn't really mind that at all. This next one, I can't actually imagine that the match are going to fix this, at least not in Xenoverse 2, but you know what? If you never ask, the answer is always no. Fix the Super Saiyan hair so it actually spikes up when you use Super Saiyan. It technically will spike up if you use Super Saiyan 3, but that's just a model swap, and the Gohan Beast Awoken, well, that's not a Super Saiyan form, but if you use Super Saiyan 1, 2, Super Vegeta 1, Super Vegeta 2, Future Super Saiyan Blue or Blue Evolution, it just changes the colour of your hair. This is one where it's like, look, I'm not expecting this to get added, but again, quite a lot of people have suggested this, so do you know what? If you never ask, the answer is always no. Fix the Super Saiyan hair so it actually spikes up when you become a Super Saiyan. The Frieza Spaceship Time miniature in Conton City becomes inaccessible while the online Frieza event is on. It kind of makes sense, but it's just so unnecessary now because you can actually still access it, but what you have to do, you have to quit the game, disconnect from the internet, load the game back up, and you'll go into like a static version of Conton City with no online events, raids, or what have you. Then you can go to Frieza Spaceship to do what you need to do, as in to do the turn golden missions or what have you. Then you can quit the game again, reconnect to the internet, and you load back in. So that's a workaround, but given that this was added, 7.5 years ago, give or take, I think at this point, just make it available to go, into the Frieza Time Rift miniature, even when the event is on. I think you'll be able to see it here. If not, it'll be in an amazing details video. It would make sense to still do that, because if they was doing, look, I'm getting ahead of myself because it's a bit silly. You could probably see right here that if you are in Conton City flying towards Frieza to fight him, there's two versions of Frieza in the city. You've got the mental version and then the version from the online Frieza event. So if you're going to keep it so the time rift is, or the time miniature is locked during the events, I think at that point you also probably would have to remove him as a mentor, because it doesn't make sense that there's two of them. Just, you know, do you know what I mean? So either remove it, or like, don't remove Frieza as a mentor during this event, just allow us to access the Frieza time miniature in Conton City during this event. There should be a way to make both the Krillin milk missions, which sounds weird to say out loud, and the Yamcha Dragonstone, or whatever it's called, Dragon Throw style missions to appear in Conton City. There are 2 trophies or achievements attached to doing these, I think 10 times each or a certain amount of times. I never have to do this again. I've already done this. I did it very early on, and when I did the data transfer to get the next gen upgrade, these 2 trophies popped, you know, immediately, which is good. But I do know that people do try and grind these because you need it for the trophy to get like the platinum on PlayStation, for example. I don't know how they should make it to appear more quickly. Maybe have it so you talk to Krillin or Yamcha in Conton City. Actually, no, they couldn't do that. No, yes, you can, because the mentors then have an option specifically for Krillin and Yamcha to say, oh, I want to go on, I want to help you or something, which clicking that would then give a higher chance of them having that pop-up appear next time you exit in and out of Conton City. Just make it like that. It shouldn't be more frequently all the time because, well, I'm guessing in the next part in this series, number 1 is going to be to mute the Hero Colosseum. It'll be annoying if these 2 popped up all the time without requesting it. Next up, we have the Xenoverse 1 Villainous mode characters, which were playable even online in Xenoverse 1, the original Dragon Ball Xenoverse game, but for whatever reason, at least as of right now, so far, they have removed these characters that were already in Xenoverse 1 going to Xenoverse 2. Yes, in Xenoverse 2 we have super villain characters and ultra super villain, but not the original Villainous mode characters, which just look, I think they look so cool. I forget off the top of my head, I'm sure there's background footage now showing them, but again, off the top of my head, I do forget how many of these characters there are, that they are in Xenoverse 1. I think about 6 or maybe 8 or 9, I forget. Make these available in Xenoverse 2, maybe even updated so they become available if you have the Legend Patrol DLC, because again, if you don't know, the Legend Patrol is the Xenoverse 1 story mode in Xenoverse 2. They did that because the Switch came out after Xenoverse 1. So it's just a way for people who play Xenoverse 2 on the Nintendo Switch to play the Xenoverse 1 story mode with the DLCs included. Have it so if you have that, maybe you get these characters anyway, or just unlock them for everyone. I would say to also have it so if you've done the data transfer, you get it, but not everyone would have, and you have to delete your data to actually do a data transfer or to change the character that you use in said data transfer. Again, I'm just trying to think, like, would it be justified? And let me know in the comments, please. Would it be justified if they made a paid DLC pack for those characters? Maybe, maybe not, or maybe if they also add the Villainous mode skills such as Darkness Mixer, which will be overpowered, as well as skills such as, you know, Rage Saucer outside of the Raid version and Baked Sphere. Let me know, would you get that if they decide to charge for those characters, or should they be added in the game because they are literally already in the game's files because of the Legend Patrol DLC pack? We should have the ability to purchase partner customization keys and the Supreme Kai of Time as playable characters using TP medals or STP medals instead of having to grind through, you know, the online raids to eventually get them, or to wait like between every 2 to 8, sometimes more, sometimes less, you know, weeks for the return of the Supreme Kai of Time event, which granted, once it's there, it is a little bit grindy, but it is very easy to actually unlock her as a character. But if you've got everything else unlocked and you're waiting for that to happen, you may have TP medals and or STP medals to spare. So just throw them into the medal shop in Conton City as, like, you know, gifts or have you. Maybe a new column there, or new row option rather, so you can buy any of the partner custom keys that are in the game as of right now and future ones, as well as the ability to purchase Supreme Kai of Time as a playable character outside of her online event. In the same light as adding more custom character slots so we can make more than 8 custom characters in Xenoverse 2, I think we should also be able to have more presets of characters, of our custom characters rather, at least a couple more, maybe making an even 10 with the current clothing, so in total 11, and then also allow us to rename the presets. Apart from custom characters, which is like preset 1, preset 2, up till preset 7 or 8, I forget off the top of my head, than the one that you're wearing, the current clothing, I think it's called. Every character has different preset names for their clothing. You've got, for example, Goku in like his gi, Captain Ginyu version. You've got Mira, like the Universe 7 and all that. You've got Saiyan armor for Vegeta. So it's something that they can do because it's literally there. And if we want to make, for example, like I always have to double check, apart from like a handful of my builds, like my first preset on my main character, my super limit breaker build, I always have to check for the most part if it's the right build I'm using. So being able to label and to name the different presets, I think would be extremely useful. Please give us the option to return directly to the lobby screen once we finish a mission, a parallel quest, an online fight, play match, or what have you, instead of it temporarily going to, or firstly going rather, to the Toki City like lobby world thing, like as you can see on screen right here. Just give us the option to actually either like switch that off so it makes it faster for loading, so we just go directly back to the I don't know what you call it, like the lobby menu thing, so you can just ready up and then continue with what you were doing. I kind of dislike that they added this. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but give us the option to switch this on or off, or what the default should be. Weirdly enough, we cannot use the Conton City photo mode during the Frieza event. You can still use naturally photo mode by talking to the robot in the time plaza or whatever it is, but in terms of the Conton City photo mode, as you can see right here, it says you can't access it during the Frieza online event. I think I know why, because you could just switch off computers and then fly by them and nothing would happen, but maybe change it so it only applies to Conton City characters rather than the Frieza Force. Just allow us to use it during photo mode. Again, if you need to use the photo mode during the Frieza event or the normal city or what have you, just disconnect from the internet, reload the game, and you will then be able to use it, because then the Frieza event wouldn't be on. I'm not too sure how or even if they could implement this next one, but there should be the ability to change the appearance on presets outside of the clothing and accessory, as in having different hair that isn't a wig, different hair color, all that good stuff. Again, I don't know how they will add this. I imagine it'll be quite complicated, because then what if you then accidentally save over the preset? If they can actually manage to do this, absolutely fantastic. I would rather love that, if I do say so myself. Can we please get it so we can get, maybe not all of them, because some of them are really good and I think it would be a balancing issue, but can we please get some of the original character, as in like from the show, or already made characters, not custom characters, unique skills available to use for our custom characters, such as Surging Spirit, such as Final Charge, which are both basically Ultimate Charge. I think they might even be the same, it's just a different animation. Now, as of right now, when we use Ultra Instinct on our custom characters, we can use Surging Spirit. It's built into the Awoken. So I can kind of see them not adding that for like base form of like other Awokens. Like if you're in Super Saiyan 3 using it, it would be cool, because it's a cool looking stance and pose and all that good stuff. But like, for example, with skills such as the Final Flash Super Attack, can we please get skills like that for our custom characters to use, please? And finally, can we please have the option to switch off the Zeno voice when we use the Tournament of Power stage, please? That's all that for this one, but you could also maybe expand this and maybe even add it so for stages like the Cell games, you can have Cell speaking, commentating over everything, and the World Tournament announcer doing the same thing for, when you pick the World Tournament stage and for other stages as well. And of course, if they did that, there should also be an option to switch those on and off as well. Out of all of the suggestions that I've spoken about and that I've spoken about that you guys have suggested, this next one is one that out of all of them, it's not going to happen. But you know what? Let's just try and do it anyway. If you never ask, the answer's always no. The ability to convert Zeni to TP medals, not to STP medals. That's never going to happen because that's now the main microcurrency for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So they will never allow us to convert either and or both Zeni and TP medals to STP medals. So right off the bat, that's never going to happen. But if they ever did allow us to change Zeni to TP medals, the only way I can realistically see them doing it, and I disagree with this, but it's just how I imagine that, because it's a business, the diminished returns would absolutely not be worth it. What do I mean by that? Given you can still buy some of the more premium items that are, you can buy with STP medals using just TP medals, then why to spend the additional money, right? So that said, if they ever did allow us to change or convert Zeni to TP medals, I can't imagine it being any less than 100,000 Zeni for one TP medal. Quite honestly, they might even make it so for one TP medal, maybe it's 1 million Zeni because of how incredibly easy it is to get Zeni as of right now in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. But again, I don't think they will ever do this. But maybe maybe they actually will, because I know a lot of us have a ton of Zeni because it just builds up, we've bought everything. So it could give us a way to convert it to the TP medals. But again, don't hold your breath on this one. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But you know what? If you don't ask, the answer is no.